Senator Watt.
Just a couple of other things following on from Senator Gallagher. I think he asked you about the feedback you'd received from the freight sector, and you mentioned some discussions you'd had with Toll. Have you also had some views put to you from equipment manufacturers about the issues around capability of screening equipment to process that volume of air freight?
Senator, no, I'm not aware of any representations to this portfolio.
Anyone else?
Senator, none that I'm aware of. But as I say, the Home Affairs Department does conduct regular meetings with these organisations, and they do have their own forums for aviation and cargo security. And
I understand there are obviously only a small number of operators in the air freight sector, and some of those routes are pretty marginal. Has this department done any analysis about the possible impact on the air freight industry and the viability of operators going forward?
No, Senator.
No, you haven't done any?
No, Senator, we haven't done anything.
So again, as the department that oversees airports, you haven't done any analysis about...
Senator, we only oversee the 22 federally leased airports.
Yeah.
They're the ones. If you're thinking of regional...
passengers up.
Well, I wasn't sure whether you were asking about the regional airports or capital city airports, Senator.
But either way, you haven't done any assessment of the impact on those airports of these new rules?
No, Senator. I would typically expect the agency or the portfolio doing the regulations to do a regulatory impact statement, and that would include an analysis of what the costs of the regulations might look like.
There was a little bit of discussion about $100 million of funding that's being provided around the implementation of these rules.
I'm sorry, Senator, it's $50.1 million for the screening requirements.
Okay, that's what I thought. So,
passenger screening.
So on that, was that funding administered through your department?
No, Senator.
It's from Home Affairs. Home Affairs are responsible for implementation of the regulations and also running the program to support those airports.
Okay. What role did your department have in designing that funding program?
None that I'm aware of, Senator.
Okay. The only other thing on aviation we had was, and Minister, this is probably more for you, on the 11th of October, Minister McCormack issued a media release headlined Regional Airports Program Takes Off, and that talked about $100 million being available over 4 years. But having had a look at the applications page, it's actually only allocating $45 million for this grant round. Why is the government advertising a $100 million program that is really only offering $45 million?
Just hazarding a guess that 100 million over 4 years, round one is at 45, and I'm assuming there'll be more rounds over the next 4 years, which will take us up to 100 million.
Minister, that's correct. This, the program will run out in 2 rounds rather than just one single round of $100 million. So the total program value as per the budget in April is $100 million, but it'll be run over 2 separate rounds.
But there was no mention of that in the media release, was it? Was there?
Won't that be after 6 months?
Well, I don't have a copy of, unless somebody does have the media release. That's not unusual, though.
Yeah, tell me about it. All day we've been hearing about announcements being made that have a lot of fine print that doesn't even make it to the press release, and this looks like it's another one.
Well, isn't this great news? We can just tell people that
you're
are
telling
interested
people
in
about
this
$100 million
program that there's
program
going to be round 2, some point over the next 4 years.
It's a bit like telling people in Cairns they're going to get a road upgrade and the fine print is in 2026.
I think, Senator Watt, in my experience, people have appreciated having a second round because if they're regional, rural and very remote, they don't have access to the advertising. So certainly the people I've spoken to were delighted that there was another round because they'd missed out on the last one.
All right, we'll leave it at that for aviation.
Okay, thank you. No more questions for aviation? Terrific.
We're already getting answers back. We asked more questions.
Yeah,
Well, we'll go and see Home Affairs. We'll rush straight round there.
No.